What's up? Nick Hilton here with Mountain Bike Action, and in this video we are testing out the Rocky Mountain Element 70. So the Element 70 features a smooth wall carbon frame that's designed to maintain stiffness and durability while still providing a smooth ride. This frame also has what Rocky Mountain calls the Ride 4 adjustable geometry chip. That allows you to fine-tune the geometry of the frame to match the style of riding that you're doing and the terrain. Something I really like about this frame is that there are 7 different water bottle bosses, so you have a lot of flexibility on where you can put a bottle or 2 bottles if you've got a couple smaller ones. This bike uses a flex stay suspension design similar to what you'd find in many top tier cross country bikes. On the back, we've got a Fox Float Performance Elite shock, and this works with the suspension design to give it 120 millimeters of travel in the rear. And in the front, we've got a Fox 34 Float Performance Elite fork with 130 millimeters of travel. We've got Race Face Arc 27 aluminum rims with a DT Swiss 370 hub in the rear and a Novatec hub in the front. Now, something I will say about this rear hub, I wish it had a bit more engagement. There's only 3 pawls in this. It's a 3-pawl system. And so whenever you're coasting and you go to pedal, sometimes you'll almost end up with a quarter to a half turn in the crank before it even engages. So that's one thing, I wish it had a little bit more engagement. The drivetrain on this bike is the SRAM GX Eagle Wireless, which shifts like an absolute dream. It's very durable and I am very impressed. This is the first time I've ever used this wireless shifting and I have absolutely 0 complaints. Now up here in the front, we've got some Race Face turbine handlebars. These are aluminum, and on top of that, we've got the SRAM Level Bronze stealth brakes. These are 4-piston. They have a lot of stopping power, but I have noticed that when you're going downhill for longer periods of time, I am noticing some brake fade, which is never something that's good for your confidence. For tires, we've got some Maxxis Recons. These are 2.3. It's a great tire. I'm running at about 19 PSI because we've got a lot of loose dirt on these trails and I want it to, really give me the maximum traction. I personally, for the conditions that I'm riding in, I would like a little bit more of an aggressive tire, but figuring that this is a cross-country bike, I think it's fitting that these tires come on it. As for how this bike rides, I've been riding it for the last 2 weeks and I'm honestly just amazed by it. It is such a fun bike, and for my size and build, it's probably one of the most comfortable bikes that I've ever ridden. The pedal to seat to handlebar ratio, I don't know, it feels very, very safe to me. I really like the feel, and the bike is so stiff and light and snappy. I almost feel like when I'm standing on it, I'm riding a BMX race bike. Climbing on this bike, you're in a really comfortable riding position. You're getting so much of that power you put in. It's moving you up the hill. It's lightweight. It's not as aggressive on the climbs as some cross-country race bikes, but with the stability you have, I think it's worth that trade-off for sure. When it comes to descending on this bike, I've been super impressed with what I can throw at it. I've yet to really come into any terrain that I don't think this bike could handle. Obviously with 130 millimeters of travel in the front and 120 in the rear, it's only gonna eat so many rocks. But I found that because it's so stable, it's so snappy, it's so agile, maneuvering through rougher terrain has been really, really good on this bike. The Rocky Mountain Element Carbon 70 comes in at $6,999, but I think it's a fair value for the bike that you get. Overall, there's so many things that I love about this bike. I love how good this wireless transmission works. The SRAM GX Eagle it just shifts flawlessly. I love the comfortability of this bike. Me being 5'9", 5'10"-ish, and this medium frame, the geometry is just so good. It just feels so comfortable to both climb and descend. I do wish I had different brakes on this bike. I don't necessarily have a problem with these brakes, but I did notice that brake fade. And then the rear hub, I think for how good the rest of this bike is, to then have a rear hub that's only got a 3-pulse system, so you get that delay in engagement. I wish that was different. That would probably be my first upgrade, would be changing the rear wheel or rear hub. But otherwise, it's a great bike. If you're looking for a bike that you can do cross country on, you can descend, and maybe your riding is about 50% climbing and 50% going downhill, I would look into this. I think it's a great overall bike, and I hope you like this video. See you in the next one.